The night was thick with a heavy, humid mist, wrapping itself around the dense forest like a shroud. The world, 1.2 million years ago, pulsed with an untamed rhythm, each sound echoing with both life and danger. Beauty sat close to the flickering fire they had managed to build in a hollow cave mouth, its orange glow pushing back the oppressive darkness. The crackle of the flames was comforting, but her heart beat faster than the fire danced, not only because of the shadows that lurked beyond but also because of the immense figure seated not far away, Kong. He was a force of nature, towering and terrifying to the unknowing eye, yet to her, there was something more. His body was a fortress of muscle, scarred from battles with creatures she could barely imagine, yet his eyes glimmered with an intelligence and an awareness that spoke beyond instinct. Those eyes lingered on her now, reflecting the firelight, filled with a question neither of them had the words to ask. They had traveled far to reach this moment, surviving swamps where crocodilian beasts the size of ships dragged prey into the mud, surviving skies where shadows of winged predators blocked out the stars. And yet, it wasn't the fights or the narrow escapes that made this night different. This night was different because it was the first time they had stopped running. The silence of the forest was deceptive. Every snap of a twig and flutter of wings carried meaning in this age where survival was both gift and curse. Beauty drew her knees close, her small spear balanced across her lap, but her eyes returned again and again to Kong. For all his size, his movements were deliberate, almost gentle, as if he knew the fragile human beside him needed more than brute strength, she needed assurance. His presence, looming yet protective, was the only reason she hadn't collapsed from exhaustion hours ago. Then, the ground shifted beneath them, a low vibration, subtle at first, like the slow heartbeat of the earth itself. Beauty froze, her breath caught in her throat. Kong's head tilted, nostrils flaring, his muscles tightening like drawn ropes. The forest's chorus seemed to hold its breath. A predator was near. From the dense undergrowth came a sound, an extended hiss, low and rolling, resonating like distant thunder but sharper, colder. It was the voice of something ancient, a hunter that ruled the night long before apes or men had risen. Beauty's eyes widened as the creature emerged from the darkness, its movement deliberate, smooth, and terrifying. The giant snake slithered into the firelight, and she finally grasped its enormity. Its body was thicker than the trees it crushed under its coils, scales glistening with a metallic sheen that shimmered with each flicker of the flames. Its tongue darted, tasting the air, and its eyes, twin orbs of cold, predatory hunger, locked directly onto her. To the beast, she was not a warrior with a spear, nor a survivor hardened by struggle. She was prey, soft and small, the sweetest morsel in this cruel wilderness. Kong rose to his full height in a single, thunderous motion, his massive frame eclipsing the fire's glow. The scars across his chest and shoulders caught the light, silent testimony to battles long fought. His roar tore through the night, a sound so immense it shook the canopy, sending flocks of birds shrieking into the sky. It was not merely noise, it was defiance, a primal challenge that declared this night, this fire, this woman, belonged to him to protect. Beauty's fear burned into something sharper. Her fingers clenched around the shaft of her spear, the wood rough against her palms. She wasn't Kong's equal in strength, but her courage, small as it was, matched his in that moment. She would not let herself be devoured while standing idle. The snake coiled tighter, muscles rippling beneath its scaled armor as it prepared to strike. The firelight glinted on its fangs, curved and glistening, dripping with venom potent enough to kill a beast far larger than her. The ground vibrated again as the snake moved, its body winding around boulders and roots, crushing plants and snapping branches as if they were fragile sticks. Beauty's heart pounded in rhythm with its movement, her entire body trembling under the weight of its presence. Yet she steadied her breath. She stole a glance at Kong, towering beside her, fists clenched, teeth bared. He didn't look at her, yet she felt his promise, the unspoken vow that no creature would harm her while he drew breath. And then it struck. The serpent lunged forward, its head darting with blinding speed, faster than her eyes could follow. But Kong was swifter. He intercepted the strike, his massive hand colliding with the snake's skull, the impact echoing like boulders colliding. The battle had begun, and the jungle, ancient and watchful, braced itself for the clash of two titans. This was their first night together, not merely as companions forced by fate, but as guardians of each other, as beings tied not by blood, nor by kind, but by survival itself. And deep within Beauty's heart, as fear battled with awe, she knew this night would forge something eternal, something even the savage world around them could never break. The serpent struck like lightning, its body coiling with terrifying speed, the hiss rattling through the jungle like a drumbeat of death. Its massive head lunged for Beauty, jaws wide, venom glistening on its curved fangs. Kong intercepted with a roar that cracked the night open, his colossal fists colliding against the snake's skull with a force that shook the ground beneath them. The sound was like stone collapsing in a cavern, deafening, raw, ancient. The beast recoiled, enraged, its long body thrashing through the trees, splintering trunks as if they were no more than twigs. Beauty darted to the side, the fire at her back casting tall shadows across her path. Her lungs burned as she ran, yet her eyes never left Kong. He grappled with the serpent, its coils twisting around his arms and torso, each movement designed to crush, to suffocate. She could see the strain ripple through his muscles, the raw power of the snake pressing in, tightening with each breath. His roar turned guttural, not just defiance now but a battle cry laced with pain. For the first time, she saw him falter, and her blood ran cold. She refused to watch him die. Her small hands gripped her spear tighter, her body trembling not with fear but with fury. She dashed closer, weaving between roots and rocks, calling out in desperate shouts, trying to draw the serpent's attention. The fire roared higher behind her, the heat licking at her back, as though the night itself wanted to lend her courage. The serpent turned its massive head, one eye burning with predatory fire, now focused on her. She had succeeded, though it meant the monster's hunger was once again aimed at her fragile body. The snake lunged, its body dragging Kong along as it struck. He snarled, wrenching himself free with a primal surge of strength, tackling the serpent before it could reach her. His fists hammered against its body, each blow deep enough to bruise steel. The serpent writhed, snapping its jaws inches from his face, the venom spraying in arcs as it struck again and again. Beauty seized her moment. She raced up a fallen log, gripping her spear so hard her knuckles went white, then leapt with all the force her body could muster. With a cry that tore from the depths of her chest, she drove the sharpened tip straight into the serpent's eye. The creature shrieked, its voice a sound of agony so loud it rattled the leaves from the trees. Its massive body whipped and flailed, tearing through earth and wood, the world itself seeming to convulse with its pain. Beauty was thrown to the ground, rolling across the dirt, her breath knocked out of her. But her strike had weakened it, blinded it, enraged it, made it vulnerable. Kong roared again, louder than he ever had before. With a fury born not just of survival but of something deeper, something primal, he seized the serpent's head in both hands. Muscles bulged, veins stood out, and with a final, thunderous heave, he slammed the beast into the earth. The ground cracked beneath the impact. Dust and debris flew into the night. The serpent's body writhed one last time, coiling and uncoiling in desperation before finally falling still, its monstrous length sprawled across the jungle floor. Silence fell. The forest, which had been alive with roars and crashes, grew eerily quiet, as if holding its breath in reverence for what had just transpired. Beauty lay on the ground, chest heaving, her spear broken in her hand. She pushed herself up slowly, her body aching but her spirit unbroken. Her eyes searched, and there he was, Kong, chest rising and falling heavily, his massive form outlined by the dying fire. He turned his gaze to her, his great hand reaching out, shielding her from the cold wind that began to stir through the jungle. Their eyes met. For a long moment, there were no words, there could be none. He was beast, she was human. Yet in that gaze was understanding, respect, and something unshakable that even the most ancient and merciless wilderness could not erase. She realized then that their bond had been sealed, not by chance or fate alone, but by choice. They had chosen each other in the face of death, and in doing so, had forged a bond stronger than fear. The jungle resumed its song, the distant calls of creatures echoing once more, but neither Kong nor Beauty moved. The carcass of the serpent lay as a grim reminder of the danger still lurking in this world, but also as proof of what they could overcome together. Beauty leaned back, exhaustion threatening to claim her, but she felt no fear now. Kong was beside her. She had seen his strength, but more importantly, she had seen his will to protect. Kong settled near the fire once again, his immense hand still outstretched to keep her warm. Beauty curled close, clutching the broken half of her spear, her body finally surrendering to rest. The fire crackled softly, its glow painting the cave walls in shades of gold and red. Above them, the stars pierced the canopy, ancient witnesses to the birth of a partnership destined to echo through the ages. This had been their first night together, marked not by peace, but by battle, blood, and survival. Yet in that crucible of danger, something eternal had begun, something no serpent, no jungle, no time itself could destroy.